What is up, you beautiful people out there on the internet? It is I, Michael Shockman, here with our next episode, and ideally the last episode on the armor section of this season of Season 3 of D&D 5e Simplified, where we cover all the nitty-gritty, itsy-bitsy bits of the player's handbook. In today's episode, we're going to be covering heavy armor and a couple of other terms that are in the book, both its descriptions as well as its statistics. Really quick before we dive into things, please be sure to follow the channel, or please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also be sure to ring that bell icon so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much. It helps immensely with the algorithm on YouTube, so I really appreciate it. Thank you. Also be sure to comment down below with what kind of heavy armor wearing person do you like to play? Are you more of a mountain? Are you a hound? Are you, let's see here, are you an Iron Man? Are you a Thor? Let me know down below. Let's do this. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's dive into today's episode where we cover heavy armor. Alright, so as for heavy armor, of all the armor categories, heavy armor offers the best protection. These suits of armor cover the entire body and are designed to stop a wide range of attacks. Only proficient warriors can manage their weight and bulk. Heavy armor doesn't let you add your dexterity modifier at all to your armor class, but it also doesn't penalize you if your dex modifier is negative, which is interesting. And with that out of the way, we're going to dive into the descriptions of each individual type of armor. There are 4 of them. First, we have ringmail, the one that I don't know of anybody who uses. This armor is leather armor with heavy metal rings sewn into it. The rings help reinforce the armor against blows from swords and axes. Ringmail is inferior to chainmail and is usually worn only by those who can't afford better armor. Next, going to the eponymous chainmail, we have chainmail. Made of interlocking metal rings, chainmail includes a layer of quilted fabric worn underneath the mail to prevent chafing and cushion from the impact of blows. This suit also includes gauntlets. This is basically like the big brother of the chain shirt. And it's also usually heavier gauge rings. Next we have splint mail, the poor man's heavy plate. This armor is made up of narrow vertical strips of metal riveted to a backing of leather that is worn over cloth padding. Flexible chainmail protects the joints. Now, splint mail, in my opinion, is, for what it gives you and for the price of it, if you can't afford to buy heavy plate, go with splint armor, because as we'll discuss later, the cost of splint mail as opposed to the cost of heavy plate, of full plate armor, is remarkably less. And it also only provides one less armor class point. So having like a ring of protection or something like that is going to be a lot better. So, last but not least, we move on to the big daddy of them all, plate armor. Plate armor consists of shaped interlocking metal plates to cover the entire body. A suit of plate includes gauntlets, heavy leather boots, a visored helmet, a thick layers of padding underneath the armor. Buckles and straps distribute the weight over the body. All right. Now, before we get into the statistics of things, I want to cover one other really quick thing here. There is something called getting in and out of your armor. This is the time it takes to don, put on, or doff, take off, the type of armor or a shield, and there is a small table. When you don armor, you benefit from its AC only if you take the full time to don it, and if you have help removing the armor when you doff it, you can basically cut the time it takes to take it off by half. For light armor, it takes 1 minute to don it, and it takes 1 minute to doff it. For medium armor, it takes 5 minutes to don it, and it takes 1 minute to doff it. For heavy armor, it takes 10 minutes to don it, and 5 minutes to doff it. And for shields, obviously, it just takes an action to pick it up or throw it away. So that covers that. Last but not least, we're going to cover the statistics of heavy armor as well as shields. So starting off at the top, we have ringmail. Ringmail costs 30 gold, offers a 14 AC bonus, imposes disadvantage on your stealth checks, and weighs 40 pounds. Next, we have chainmail for 75 gold, which imparts 16 to your AC, requires a 13 strength, minimum of 13 strength, also imposes disadvantage on your stealth checks, and weighs 55 pounds. Next, we have splint armor, and remember what I said before, how the cost difference between splint and plate is. You're about to see why. Splint armor costs 200 gold pieces for one suit, offers a 17 to your AC, a 17 AC, and requires a 15 strength, right? It does impose disadvantage, and it weighs 60 pounds. Plate armor costs 1,500 gold pieces, only offers one additional point of AC at an 18, and also requires a 15 strength bonus, 15 strength score, imposes disadvantage, and costs 5, and it weighs 5 pounds more. Can you see why it's more cost effective to go with splint armor? Can you see that? Let me know down below. And last but not least, we have shields. It costs 10 gold pieces. Excuse me. Costs 10 gold pieces. Adds a +2 to your AC and only weighs 6 pounds. So yeah. Honestly, kind of wrapping up this section of things, folks. I'm gonna say that heavy armor is probably one of my favorites. I generally, when I play D&D, like to go with as heavy armor as possible as I can. So a suit of splint or a suit of plate, if I can afford it, uh, is honestly the bee's knees for me. I've very rarely worn played characters that wear light armor and are dex fighters, so it is what it is. Um, anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you have enjoyed. Stay tuned for next week when we cover the first section of weapons, um, and cover simple weapons. And all the things therein. Really quick before we sign off, if you wouldn't mind doing me a really quick favor once again, just take a second. Please be sure to follow the links down in the description. You know what they do, you know where they go, you know what to do. I'm Michael Schockman. I've been your host and commentator. And remember, as always, guys, until next time, keep it real, keep it safe, keep it healthy. And we'll see you guys again soon in the Institute. Bye-bye, guys.